Hello and welcome to this quick look at how to tackle a rates of reaction question which requires you to draw a tangent on a graph. So first of all, it introduces a question where you've got a gas being made and the rate of reaction is determined from the loss in mass over a period of time. The student plots a graph of total mass against time, so it's the reagents and the container together. So the rate of reaction is basically the change in mass of the reactants per unit time, because the container is obviously not going to change in mass. So as you can see, the curve gets shallower with time, meaning the gradient is getting smaller. And the gradient at any given point indicates the rate of reaction in grams per second to the -1. Now they want you to describe and explain the change in the rate of the reaction during the first 200 seconds of the experiment. So you've got to be a little bit careful because this is an A-level question, and although it's looking at ideas that are first taught about at GCSE, you have to take it a little bit further when you're actually describing what's going on. So obviously the rate of the reaction decreases because the reactants are getting used up. And this is because of less frequent collisions taking place. So this is the key idea you've got to take with you to A-level. So this second point is what they're looking for to get the second marking point. So the part at the bottom I'm going to have a closer look at in a second. So it asks you to describe and explain the change in the rate of the reaction during the first 200 seconds. We've done that. We're now looking at using the graph, calculate the rate of reaction in grams per second to the -1 at 200 seconds and show you're working. So looking at the graph, obviously 200 seconds is here. So this is the point where I'm going to draw my tangent. So the line bisects the x-axis and the y-axis, so I can use the scales themselves to measure dy and dx. So therefore dy is 96.07 minus 95.90. So in other words, it's the difference between these 2 points, and dx is going to be the difference between these 2 points. So that gives us 5.67 times 10 to the -4 grams per second to the -1. So it's important to point out that the tangent is fairly approximate. There's a little range of movement in exactly which value you get, depending on what you read off as dy over dx, and also the way you draw your tangent. So the key thing to remember is to try to keep these two spaces pretty equal, and the tangent just needs to brush the curve, not sit on top of it or go the other side, but just brush the lower surface of it there. So this is our mark scheme for the first part. As you can see, that the less frequent collisions is what they're after for that second mark. So it's interesting, the language in the mark scheme is an attempted tangent on the graph drawn to a line at approximately t equals 200 seconds. So the exact gradient is not required, and any sensible and logical approach will be credited. Okay, I hope this has given you a bit of insight into how to approach these types of questions when you come across them in exams and tests. As always, thanks for listening. Until next time, see you soon.